Week 3 of the Elon Musk versus OpenAI trial may have been the most important week so far, because this time, the spotlight shifted directly onto Sam Altman himself. After 2 weeks of hearing Elon Musk's side and Greg Brockman's defense, the court finally heard from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, and OpenAI co-founder Ilya Sutskever. And honestly, this week made the trial feel less like a business dispute, and more like a fight about trust, control, and the future of AI itself. Sam Altman took the stand and strongly denied Musk's accusations that OpenAI abandoned its nonprofit mission for money and power. Altman argued that building advanced AI became far more expensive than anyone originally expected, and that OpenAI needed billions of dollars in funding and computing power to compete. According to Altman, remaining a pure nonprofit simply wasn't realistic anymore. But Musk's lawyer, Stephen Molo, pushed back aggressively during cross-examination. And this was one of the most tense parts of the trial so far. Molo repeatedly questioned Altman's honesty, credibility, and financial interests. At one point, he directly asked Altman, "Are you completely trustworthy?" Altman initially answered, "I believe so." Molo immediately pushed back, asking, "You don't know if you're trustworthy?" Altman then clarified his answer and said yes. That short exchange quickly became one of the most talked-about moments of the week, because it created visible tension in the courtroom. Molo also questioned Altman about his investments and business relationships with companies connected to OpenAI, trying to suggest that OpenAI's leadership may have personally benefited from the company's transformation into a much more commercial operation. One major focus was Altman's ties to Helion Energy and other companies connected to OpenAI deals. The courtroom also revisited one of the biggest controversies from OpenAI's past, the brief firing of Sam Altman in 2023. Statements from former OpenAI insiders were discussed in court, including claims that Altman had not always been fully transparent internally. That became another major talking point during the trial. Molo also presented old emails, interviews, and messages to argue that OpenAI's shift toward profit and large-scale investment had been discussed much earlier than Altman publicly suggested. The core argument from Musk's side was becoming much clearer. They wanted the jury to question whether OpenAI's leadership had slowly changed the company's original mission while presenting a different image publicly. Then came Ilya Sutskever's testimony. And this was a huge moment because Sutskever wasn't just any witness. He was one of OpenAI's original founders, and also one of the key people involved in removing Altman from the company in 2023 before Altman returned days later. Sutskever told the court that OpenAI needed enormous amounts of funding and computational power to realistically pursue AGI, artificial general intelligence. Overall, his testimony helped support OpenAI's argument that the company's restructuring was necessary to survive and compete in the AI race. But at the same time, the internal tensions inside OpenAI became even more visible to the jury. Questions about leadership, transparency, and trust continued to hang over the courtroom throughout the week. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella also testified. Microsoft's strategy during this trial has stayed very consistent. They want to present themselves as a legitimate investor, not a company secretly controlling OpenAI behind the scenes. Nadella testified that Microsoft invested legally, believed in OpenAI early, and did not force the company to abandon its mission. He also spoke about the chaos surrounding Altman's temporary firing in 2023, which shook both OpenAI and Microsoft internally. By the end of week 3, the trial had become much clearer. Musk's side continues to argue that OpenAI betrayed its original nonprofit mission and transformed into a massive profit-driven corporation tied closely to Microsoft. Meanwhile, OpenAI argues that Musk originally wanted significant control himself, left the company when he didn't get it, and is now attacking a major competitor after launching his own AI company, xAI. Closing arguments were also delivered this week, meaning the case is now entering its final stage. The jury is expected to begin deliberations very soon, although the final legal decision will ultimately belong to Judge Ivan Gonzalez Rogers. And depending on the outcome, this case could seriously affect the future structure of OpenAI, Microsoft's investment, and potentially the future of the AI industry itself. So now the question is, did OpenAI truly abandon its founding mission? Or is this really a battle over control and competition in the AI race? Let me know what you think in the comments.